In this video, I'm going to cover the Vision Data Reporter, which is a free Excel tool that we give to customers to analyze the data that they download from Vision. There's macros in here that makes it very simple to do very nice analysis in a graphical format or tabular. First thing we'll do is to import a data file that was exported from the Vision. That's just one of those CSV files, and so I'll have one on my desktop that I'll use. Depending on the size of the file, it may take a couple seconds to 30 seconds or maybe even a minute depending on the size. So be patient depending on how much data you're trying to pull in. You do have the option, notice here, of skipping data older than a certain date. So if you do have a very large CSV but you only want to look at the last few weeks or something, just type in a date here and it will give only the stuff that's later than that. Now it shows you the file that was imported, the name of it, then it shows you the dates of the data that's contained within. And there may be gaps in those dates, so it'll show with commas the various dates that it's got data for. The standard is data bin at 15 minutes, but you can set that differently. You can also set the start and end time. We'll talk about that in a minute. The zones are the ones that are from your setup file, and if halfway through the life of the camera the zones have been renamed and changed, you'll see the various names depending on whether you downloaded data during that period. Now this points out easily why it's important to name zones when you set up your detector files, because it's a little bit easier to know what they are when they have names as opposed to just numbers. The zone with no number was probably a manually added zone afterwards. It's likely the advanced zone. I'm going to delete that so we don't see it. You can also add optional labels if you do know what these are. For instance, zone 5 I'm pretty sure is the left turn, and I'll just do that one so that you can see what happens there. Update reports. Now let's go to volume. You notice we have the zone 1, 2, 3, 4, and then a left turn and so forth. So that's the optional label I put in. So we have from midnight to midnight, and here's the tabular results as well. So a couple other options we can go back in. Let's say we only want to see from 6 a.m. to, let's just say, 2 p.m. And let's update reports. Go back, and then you'll see the different time. Turning movements. Similarly, it shows all the throughs, lefts, rights, and it does show wrong way as well. Now, this is all throughs and left turns and so forth for multiple lanes. The speed report, speeds. Classifications are basically by lengths, and the classifications you define in the first setup page. And the defaults are up to 22 feet for class 1, 22 to 36, and then above. If we go back to setup, down, scrolling a little further down, that's where you can set those up. You can put in whatever values you want here to set your classifications, and it will make the calculations accordingly. You can also do some things like show flow rates instead of counts, do averages, and various things. So very easy to reuse, and it makes getting data very simple since there's no setup in Vision. All you have to do is download the data after it's been collected.
Econolite. Moving traffic forward.